everyone, and welcome to the thru Recovery Life Podcast. Today we have Mr. Ray in Massachusetts. We have Francis in Fort Myers, Florida. We have Miss Nellie in West Palm Beach, Florida, and myself also in West Palm Beach. And we're just going to have a parking lot conversation about what brought you into AA. So, Mr. Ray, what brought you into AA? How did you get here?
Well, pleasure to be here. But I think one point I want to make at the beginning is no matter what brought us into AA, it's a good thing. And sometimes we forget about that. What brought me into AA was stress that I was having with, at that time, with a father who had broken his hip and was living sort of as a hermit. And, I was drinking and driving, and I got a DUI, which was unusual for me because I was the poster boy for good behavior, and I had never been arrested, in my life, and so that was quite an unusual situation for me. But for me, that was the first time that I was brought in by the people with the blue lights on the top of their cars. And at the time, I didn't think it was a good thing, but later on, it turned out to be. How about you, Francis? How did you come into AA?
Hi, I'm Francis. I'm an alcoholic. I was sick or tired of being sick and tired. Running in and out of psych ward and dope houses and walking the streets, in and out of cars. I was just tired, I didn't want to live that life anymore. And I was so happy when I came into AA, man. It made the most best decision in my life. Everything's been going great, It's just amazing when you just you think you have power and you don't have power at all, and then they give you a decision to make. You turn your will and your way over to the power greater than yourself, which I choose to call God. And I'm telling you, he's been amazing for me. I wouldn't trade this for nothing in the world. So I don't know how this go, but yeah, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of living that life out there, broke all the time. Nowhere to go, homeless, walking the streets.
Did you come in on your own, or did you have somebody help you come in? Somebody you knew that was already in?
I'm glad you said that because, man, I went on a rendezvous for about, I guess, a month or two after I left the treatment center down here, and I called this lady named Leslie Robinson, and she was from Street Chick from recovery. She knocked on my door and she introduced me to Yana. And it's just so amazing. I really loved it. That I didn't like it at first now. I didn't want to do what they said, but I tell you, the more I went, when they say keep coming back, and the more I went, the more I got, a solution. And when I started doing the action, everything started coming to pieces. So yes, I did. I had a young lady named Leslie. I'll never forget her, and I talk to her now. But yes, Leslie Robinson, I'll never forget her.
All right, Miss Francis. We're going to go around a few times. So, Miss Nellie, what brought you into AA? Ray mentioned a nudge from the judge or the red and blue lights committees.
What brought me in it, my children, my mom, she threatened to, she did call DCFS on me, but I was scared because she was talking about taking my kids away from me, and I have 6 children, and that's what brought me in. And as Ray was saying, even though when I was out there, I never got arrested or my drugs did not make me go out and steal or get arrested. It just made me mess up all my money that I had, And and I like that what Miss Francis said, tired of being sick and tired. I heard Mystical sing that song, and I love that song today, guys. But I ain't sick and tired no more. I'm happy, joyful, and free, baby. Thank you.
Fantastic, Miss Nellie. And we have Miss Angie from the Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx. What brought you into AA, Angie? Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Angie, alcoholic. Well, what brought me into AA was my family. I was a mess. I was a shell of a human that I just kept drinking selfishly and not thinking about my little ones. It was just that was my bottom when I saw myself in the psychiatric institute that they had to admit me because I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't know how to come out of the feeling of just wanting alcohol. Alcohol just took over everything for me, took over my mind, body, and soul. And that was the first thing that I had when I woke up that I wanted. I wanted alcohol. That was the first thought. And I guess that I wanted my family. I didn't want to do this anymore. And myself, when I saw myself in the mirror, I didn't even recognize the person that I was. My husband had taken a video of me. He had asked me if I was drinking, and I said no. And when I saw the video, it was so obvious that I was not well. I was drunk, and that's how people saw me. I would think that I was controlling my movement, but I wasn't. I was just, I don't know. It was just a mess. And hide that they mentioned in the big book, I was someone who transformed from being happy then to going to be mad and upset and irate. And it was just, yeah, that was summing it all up. It was my family. That's all. Thank you.
Right.
Nice to see you all.
Yeah, great to see you as well. You don't have to turn your video on because it can affect audio sometimes. I know what brought me into AA is I knew that I had a problem with alcohol, and I knew that alcohol was not the problem. My problem was, how do I get rid of the alcohol in order to deal with me? I knew that I had to change. I wanted to be the type of guy, I wanted to feel the way I felt when I was after a few drinks, but without the alcohol. I wanted to be that guy, but without the alcohol. I was 21 years old. I had my GED by then. I dropped out of high school to join the Marines. I was 21 years old, but I didn't feel like a man, and I wanted to feel like a man. And I knew I had to get rid of the alcohol. So I'm stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina, spring of '82. I told some friends, I'm going to sign up for a deployment to go to Japan. And when I get to Japan, I'm going to quit drinking, quit smoking, and join AA. So after getting into Alcoholics Anonymous, I realized I did steps 1 and 2 way back then. It took 6 months later to actually stop drinking. But yeah, I wanted to feel like a man. I didn't feel like an adult, not so much a man, but an adult. And I knew drinking was preventing me from doing it. And I thank God that He led me to AA. And actually, okay, so here's what brought me into AA. When I was in Florida at the time, but when I lived in New York, they had public service announcements on the radio. Do you think you have a drinking problem? Alcoholics Anonymous can help. So that's the bottom line. That's what brought me into AA. Public service announcement on the radio. Yeah, and as Ray said, it doesn't matter how you get in here. You know, it doesn't matter who you do it for in the beginning. Eventually, you do it for yourself, and yeah, great. So
yeah, it sounds like some of us came in on our own volition. Some of us were encouraged to come in by families, and some of us were encouraged to come in by the judicial system. And I think that all depends on how you feel when you first come into the fellowship, whether you feel embarrassed, uncomfortable, the fact that you don't belong here, be interesting to get some comments on that. How did you feel when you first came in? Were you happy to be here? Were you embarrassed to be here? Did you really think you needed to be here? And in my case, I was not sure that I needed to be here. I knew I needed to be here because the judge recommended 3 AA meetings. And so I was going to do that. But, I was the type of person that always, if 3 are good, then 1 a week would be better. So I did 1 a week for 2 years. And then but there was certainly a feeling of embarrassment. I was a poster boy for good behavior, and I was a pretty smart guy, and I didn't think I was an alcoholic, and blah, blah, blah. But I had drank alcoholically, no question, and I had to pay my dues. How about somebody else? How did you feel when you first came into AA?
I just put something in the chat. So we're doing this through Zoom. There's another way to come in. If you can think of different ways you've heard of people coming in to AA, you can let us know. So some people come in through what they call the back door. They start attending AA meetings because their significant other or whoever else, they have the problem, and they start attending meetings with them. And eventually they realize, oh, gee, I have a problem too with alcohol. Has anyone else heard?
I knew I needed. I'm Francis. I'm an alcoholic. I knew I needed help. I was so sick and tired. I said I need some help. Church couldn't help me because I've been through it all with the church thing. But I was so happy when I came in there and they told me this was a spiritual program because I thought it was a cult. But once I kept going back, and man, that's the best thing that ever happened to me is to walk through those doors and be welcome as I were an alcoholic and an addict also. I was trying to commit suicide, and I'm telling you, this is the best thing that ever happened to me to walk through Alcoholics Anonymous. I didn't even know it was no solution. I didn't even know it was a big book. I didn't even know it was a way out until I walked in. So I am so happy. Now, then, nope, I didn't want to 12 steps. I didn't even see no steps around there, but I was like, this is the best thing. It's so awesome. Once you come in full force, open-minded, honest, open-minded, and willing to do this program, and nothing else, it ain't nothing else for me to do but keep going. And then this lady asked me from the church, do y'all graduate? I didn't even know what to tell her because I hadn't been in AA long. But now I can tell I'm so glad we don't never graduate. This is a life journey to live life on life terms. It's just an amazing place to be. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Well, okay. After coming into AA, what did you expect? What did you expect before coming into AA? And basically, what did you have any expectations when you first came in? How about you, Ray? Did you have any expectations?
No, I just came to get my ticket punched, like a lot of other people. Get my paper signed and ticket punched, and like I say, I didn't think I needed it at all.
I got you.
On the first go around, and I went religiously once a week, every week on a Sunday, for 2 years, and when that 2 years ended, then I graduated. And during those 2 years, I didn't need the big book. I didn't need the 12 and 12. I didn't need any AA literature. Like I say, I was a smart guy. I didn't need all that stuff that you other people needed. And I stayed sober for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 23 years. But in 23 years, a lot of stress, a lot of issues, a lot of crisis. Life became violent and vicious, and we know how to ease the pain when that happens. But we may only want to do it for a short while. I'll get a half pint today, and just for today, or get a couple of nips just for today. But tomorrow comes, and we realize that it seemed to work a little bit yesterday, so we keep going. we know how the movie ends, but we still want to watch the movie. So that's the way it goes.
You're right. It's like watching a train wreck or a car accident. Miss Angie, do you want to add anything else? Did you have any expectations when you came into AA?
That is such a great question. Wow, these are wonderful questions. So I didn't know what AA was. I thought I was just mandated to come to AA, and I just came into the program and started just listening and didn't get a sponsor. And that was one of the reasons why I also relapsed. I just thought that an Alcoholic Anonymous was where people from, the streets, with a brown paper bag would go, and not people that were so similar to me. It just became, I was amazed at the type of people that were coming into the meetings, and I'm a Zoom baby, so I never went in person. So once I started seeing that there are people that are doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, and all sorts of people, and I related a lot to their stories, then I just started believing. But in the beginning, I didn't have any real expectations. I didn't know what Alcoholics Anonymous was. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Frances noted that she thought it was a cult, and then Angie talks about the fact that we think it's people that live under bridges and drink out of brown paper bags, and that's a very common perception of AA. Until we find out that if it's a cult that saves lives, and we find out that alcohol or drugs does not discriminate, because we have every occupation on the face of the earth in AA, and so it's interesting to get rid of some of those misconceptions.
Right.
There's not a lot of resources that help people, that the young people that don't know about this program. A lot of people are naive about it. They think that because the movies that you see, you think is the same thing, and it's not. It's so much different.
Very, very good point. You were going to say something, Ray?
No, I just said right.
Francis, did you have any expectations, or Nellie? Did you guys have any expectations about AA?
Expectations mean that I really needed help. I expected them to help me, but it wasn't all about them helping. It's all about me doing the action. It's about me listening. When I came to Jonna, I couldn't speak for a year. And I asked my higher power to send me a sign, which I choose to call God, and He sent me the St. Francis prayer. That was the main prayer I needed. I was like, okay, you're gonna put it in my face like that. This is where you need to be. Alcoholic Anonymous is for people that, if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. But it's for people who want it and do the action. Because it's, the 12 steps to me is better than a degree or whatever you got. Like Ray said, I don't care who you are. Alcohol don't care who you are, what kind of degree you have, or, nationality or nothing like that. Alcohol is alcohol. But when you come in this program, I like the way Bob and Bill break these things down, and especially the third step prayer that, God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and do with me as thy will, not my will, because I didn't have no will out there. My will wasn't going well. So when I came in here, I expected to get clean and sober and whatever. I got my help, I did get the help, but I had to do the work. I went through a lot, but I did the work, Actions speak louder than words. And that's what a lady told me when I went out to this big women's convention and stuff. She said, Francis, I don't care how you look on the outside, it's what's going on the inside. And helping other people. And my sponsor's 95 years old. He said, Francis, your thing is to carry the message. This is a free gift, and what God gave me, I love to give to others. So yes, my expectation, I was hoping, yeah, I needed it. I was sick and tired. So, and I got it. I'm telling you, it's the best gift you can get, and it's free. It don't cost you much. So,
But when I came back after 23 years of not drinking, after my 2-year medallion experience, and realized what happened. And what happened was, I started drinking again. And, the lightning struck twice, and I got arrested once again. And I realized, I tried to remember what I didn't do the first time around. And what I didn't do the first time around is I didn't take advantage of the full scope of AA services and tools available. So I decided when I came back, I would sample everything on the AA buffet, because before but now I would sample everything on the buffet, and not just general meetings, but big book meetings, 12-step meetings. I started 12-step meeting and what have you. And I again, I used all the tools and realized that we can't do it alone. We can't get over addiction alone. That's the bad news. And the good news is we don't have. That's why we go to meetings and on a regular basis, many a day, some like I do. And, I probably go to 30 meetings a week, but I probably only need one. But the problem is I don't know which one.
I like that. I like that.
yeah.
How about you, Miss Nellie? Did you have any expectations
I'm sorry.
about AA?
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
Did you have any expectations about Alcoholics Anonymous?
Did I have? Yeah, I had some expectation, because you know what? This is like my third time coming in, and I was able to stay clean for 18 years, and until I got shingles, and but I came back, because everybody that I grew up with, they was dying. And I was like, I didn't want to die just yet, guys. I really didn't. So my third time coming in, I just took heed to what I just laid down. I was like, God, you can have all of me, because I didn't want to die. My sisters and them died to this drugs, and my friends and my husband, and I just didn't want to die. So I was humble and being obedient. And if they would have said, Nellie, to work this program, you had to jump. And I was going to say, hi, because I was going to jump. And I jumped into it. And and I am so truly grateful. Truly grateful.
Fantastic. Me personally, I didn't know anything about AA, even though I didn't know anything about Alcoholics Anonymous. And I didn't know what to expect. But thankfully, I saw it within a week or two after coming into meetings. I saw what I wanted. I saw this sergeant sitting in a chair, gunnery sergeant sitting in a chair, so relaxed, so at peace, so calm. And in my mind, I said, that's what I want. That's what I want. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was going to get out of AA, but I saw what I wanted the moment it appeared to me, because my mind was always racing. I didn't know how to slow it down, how to relax. And when I saw that guy able to relax, I said, that's what I want. And I went for it. And by the grace of God, I found it one day at a time. And I still have to put in the work to maintain that peace of mind. But yeah, so we can talk for another 2-3 minutes. That'll bring us to about 30 minutes. And yeah, we want to just keep it brief, but we got some good stuff. Anybody else has anything to say?
Yes, I'm Francis. I'm an alcoholic. I never been nowhere until I came to AA. and thought I was good enough. I was raised with family with money that if you didn't have education, you didn't have money, you didn't have this, you wasn't good enough. They didn't believe in you getting welfare or any assistance from the government. And I had my firstborn, and they told I'd never be nothing. Come to find out, AA got me my queen back. That's why I call me Queen Francis, because now I'm not no street person. You know, I'm anonymous. And I love that not prayer. Don't let nobody make you feel that you're not good enough, because we all God's children, no matter what, and we all are good enough. You know, I always think if my higher power is a king, then I'm a queen. And I've been on international, you guys, you wouldn't believe this. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, when I can't sleep, I can go on international and speak 5 minutes at a time. I never leave nowhere where I began at. The zoo got me through my brother and mother's death. And I thank John and Ray so much. I really thank Ray for encouraging me every morning and giving me the strength. You guys giving me the strength to keep going. But as I move on, I ask my higher power to lead me to where you want me to go. Let me say what you want me to say. And please, by all means, let me stay out your way. You know, because without AA, I am nothing. But with AA, I am a queen. So I never felt good enough. That's why when you keep coming back, you get your strength back, you get your hope back, you get everything back if you just continue to do the right thing and carry the message. And that's all I got to say about that. I love you guys, and I'm going to have to go and relax. I'm going to try to sit still for a minute. Thank you.
All right. So in closing, let's just say goodbye to the listeners out there. Ray, you want to start?
Yeah, my final words would be just the same way I opened up with. It doesn't matter how you got to the fellowship. You stay and you work on yourself, and you stop drinking and stop using. That's phase one. Phase two would be find out why you had to use mind-altering substances to deal with life. And then you go on and you help somebody else in the fellowship to do the same thing, and just realize that it's a lifelong condition, and we can't. We have to deal with it. We have to keep it on the front burner every day, because if we leave it off the front burner, we'll start thinking that we have everything under control. It's just not the way it is. So you can't do it alone, and you don't have to. That's why we have all these meetings, and find some that you like and go on a regular basis. That's all I got.
All right, fantastic. Ray, Nellie, you want to say bye to the listeners out there? Bye to you, Angie. You want to say bye to the listeners out there?
I'm sorry, I had my
I'm sorry, what did you say?
on mute. Yes, we are never
To say
alone.
bye?
Nellie's going to say bye first, and then you can go, Angie.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, loud and clear.
Sorry, I couldn't. What did you say? Repeat that question.
You want to say farewell to the listeners out there?
Of course. I just want to say to everyone, just make sure to get a sponsor, and just don't be shy to ask for help. This is a great program. And if you have a relapse, it's okay. We still want you to come back. So thank you all for listening.
Fantastic. Okay, Miss Nellie, you there?
Yes, I wanted to say you are never alone. So don't feel alone. And the big book, how it works. I mean that there, you got to find a power greater than yourself. Even though people use the big book. It's the power, But give yourself a chance. You're never alone. Love you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. So we do this every Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern. There'll be an email in the description if you want to participate. Notice we have people around the country. and we can have people around the world do this. Send us an email. We'll send you the link to join us every Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Nellie. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Miss Angie. Hope to see you guys next Sunday, but I'll see you during the week as well.
Can
Thank
I
you.
say one more thing?
Yes.
More meetings, more chances. Few meetings, few chances. No meetings, no chances. Please find you somewhere to go, home team, and keep coming back. Thank you.
My goodness, can't end it on a better note. Fantastic.